What is going on, guys? Papa C back with another video for you guys, bringing you the NPA Season 3 Week 2 battle. This week, your New York Klinks are going up against Steve, coach of the Milwaukee Sawsbucks. His link will be in the description in case you guys aren't subscribed to him, as well as the team builder. That will be in the description as well, because this team, probably should know what the team is before watching the battle. But anyway, to give you a quick rundown of this battle, looking at Steve's team, he only has one Rapid Surrender in Komala, one Stealth Rocker in Celebi, and one Spiker in Gallspot. So I knew that if I could deny him hazards, and if I could get my hazards up, that'd be really helpful. I do have Sticky Web on Levany, which could be helpful as well, because if I get Sticky Webs up with Levany, my entire team, except for Steelix, outspeeds his entire team, bar any potential like Choice Scarf Celebi or something like that. But he didn't have Choice Scarf Celebi, spoiler, I guess. So again, this team, the real premise of this team is just to get rocks up, get webs up, lead Zapdos, because if he does lead Gallspot and have some sort of spikes variant, Thunderbolt will do over half and then trigger the emergency exit, so he can't go for his spikes. And I'm also doing this post-com. I don't think I've ever done an NPA battle post-com. I did a lot of my P4G stuff post-com. I had some people say, see, try post-com. I like post-com better. Let me know in the comments down below, do you prefer post-com battles, do you prefer live-com battles? Going forward, I'll probably mix between the two, just because there's some times with scheduling conflicts where I have to battle at times that I can't do live-com, so keep that in mind, but we are doing post-com this week. So let's get right into the battle. So like I said, I figured let's just lead Zapdos. If he leads Gallspot or Gallspot, however you say it, T-Bolt will do at least half. If he leads with Celebi, wanting to get rocks up, I can just pressure him with Heat Wave. So I lead Zapdos. He actually leads Incineroar here, and when I saw Incineroar lead, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, does Incineroar get Stone Edge? Luckily, it doesn't. I looked it up. So I'm thinking, I don't really know what he could do. I thought maybe he just thought I would lead with Steelix, so I stayed in, and I went for Thunderbolt. I see he goes for Fake Out, which was, I didn't expect this at all. I didn't even know Incineroar got Fake Out, to be honest, and I figured he probably just wants Fake Out for chip damage, because I'm assuming there's a lot of things on his team that can do like 90% to my Pokemon, but they can't kill my Pokemon, so having that extra Fake Out damage ensures KOs, if that makes sense. So I go for T-Bolt, does roughly half as he goes for U-turn. So I know he's not Choice Scarfed or Choice Banded anyway. I don't know what item he has. After the battle, he told me he was a plus attack nature, so I don't know what he could have been now that I think about it. He might have been having a Z move, actually. So I go for Tom Pass here because I know T-Bolt can't do anything, and if he goes for Tail Glow, I will probably get swept. So I go for Baton Pass into my Levany. I actually had a Agility Baton Pass Zapdos, but I couldn't pull that off in that situation, as you can see. So I go to my Levany because I know I outspeed, and I know I can get Sticky Webs up because I know he's not going to be Choice Scarf. So there's Sticky Webs. Which is really all I need Levany for. If I get webs up, my entire team outspeeds him pretty much, which is so helpful. And he goes for Volt Switch, kills my Levany. Doesn't really matter. Levany doesn't really do much in this matchup besides go for Sticky Webs. I do have Heal Bell, which could be relevant if he has some sort of status Pokemon, but he doesn't, unless he has like Toxic Celebi, but that doesn't really matter. So he switches out, goes to Incineroar, and I'm thinking here, okay, whatever comes in is probably going to have to take a Fake Out. So I go out to my Blaziken here as he gets to minus speed, whatever. So I go to my Blaziken, and I know he's going to Fake Out. I was so tempted to click Z Sunny Day here, but I knew he had Mimikyu in the back, and I knew that if I did that, that Mimikyu would kill him with the player off anyway, and I knew that he would Fake Out. So I just went for the Brick Break, actually, as he switches out. It was kind of a risky play. I probably should have just clicked Thunder Punch and broke the Mimikyu's disguise, but unfortunately I figured, you know what, let's just kill this thing or try to kill this thing. Didn't work out for me. Kind of a misplay. I played the 50-50, and I lost. So he's immune to Brick Break, obviously, and he still has his disguise up, so I'm kind of scared that he's going to want to go for a Z Splash, potentially, maybe a Swords Dance here. So I go to my Steelix, because I know Steelix could take a Play Rough, and he goes for the Trick Room. When I saw when I saw Trick Room, my heart just dropped, because last week we got absolutely destroyed by Trick Room. So anyway, I go for Iron Head because I just want to break the Mimikyu's disguise. He goes to his Wishy-Washy here. And here's the thing, the webs bite me in the ass because now his Pokemon are even slower than mine, and in Trick Room that means they're faster. So kind of unfortunate. I did go for the Iron Head here, which does pretty much nothing to this Pokemon because it's a freaking Wishy-Washy. So here I'm thinking like, okay, I have Sturdy. Kind of a game time decision as well, because in my team builder I had Tier 4s, but I changed to Sturdy last minute for situations like this where I could take a Scald and still get rocks up. So definitely was worth changing it to Sturdy from the team builder. So I get rocks up, and again, unfortunately, Steelix will go down. Steelix was probably one of my better answers for Mimikyu, but I do also have things like Klefki and other Pokemon that can pressure the Mimikyu. Even Zapdos with the T-Bolt does a good amount of damage to it, so Down goes my Gamagori, my Steelix, which is so unfortunate because I wanted Steelix to work. I had Crunch for the Celebi as well, and the funny thing is, I almost brought a min speed Steelix just in case he brought Trick Room, but I thought, you know what, he's not gonna bring Trick Room. So anyway, I go to my Klefki. I figure let's just get Spikes up. If I get Spikes up, I can really pressure that Celebi, pressure that Gallspot, and make it so that when they come in, they take a ton of damage that can pretty much kill them with any hit on any other Pokemon. So he goes for Scald, does a lot of damage, and gets the burn, which is a bit unfortunate. I don't think it really matters though. It might matter actually in the long run. So there's the burn damage. I do go for the light screen here as the twisted dimensions go back to normal. So there's the light screen. So I figure, okay, I should be able to take another Scald now. Let's just go for Spikes. So I do end up doing that as he goes for Scald, and the Scald's going to go. I'm not going to die here. I'm going to live with, I think, like 10 HP, 12 HP. And then the burn's going to come out, and I'm going to live with 2 HP. So I will get out my Spikes there. Kind of unfortunate. I'm not 100% sure if the burn mattered. I'll have to, like, calc it, I guess. I don't know. But I might have been able to potentially get a third layer of Spikes. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Either way, down goes DJ Khaled, which I spelt wrong, apparently. By the way, I didn't realize that. To the Wishy-Washy, and Wishy-Washy is proving to be a threat. So I got my Zapdos here because the dimensions are returned to normal. I'm thinking he's going to go to Mimikyu here because I figure if he goes to Mimikyu, he could just go for the Trick Room again because I will break the disguise. But he stays in, actually, as I go for the T-Bolt, and the T-Bolt is going to kill the Wishy-Washy, which is amazing. I don't think that crit mattered, but down goes Wishy-Washy. Fantastic. And like I said, here comes the Mimikyu, and I'm like, well, I gotta break the disguise. He's okay. He's at -1 speed, which is essentially +1 speed for a Trick Room team. The webs just ended up biting me in the ass so hard in this battle because I just essentially helped him. So I go for T-Bolt, which is gonna break the disguise, which is really, really nice for me. And the Stealth Rocks and the Spikes also help a lot because he does take damage even though he has the disguise. Get the Para, which doesn't really matter because he has a Lumberry. He probably had Lumberry so he could take on my Klefki better. I'm guessing he thought I would bring like Toxic or T-Wave Klefki, something like that, just to handle his Mimikyu. So the disguise gets busted and he goes for Trick Room again. Luckily, Trick Room is only 5 turns though. It's not like Light Screen or anything like that where you could bump it up to 8 turns. So I can play around it. So right here, I know I can take a hit. If he goes for Play Rough, it's not going to kill me. So I go for T-Bolt, and I'm thinking, depending on what his set is, I might be able to kill this thing. It doesn't kill, which tells me he definitely has some sort of investment in HP, which would make sense, because if you're running a mid-speed Mimikyu, what else do you invest in? It has to be, you know, attack and HP or defense, something like that. So down goes Zapdos. Unfortunately, Zapdos does go 1-1 at least, and I figure, okay, let's go into my Blaziken here. I'm pretty sure I can live a Play Rough, as he does go for the Play Rough here, and I think I can get a KO on this thing, which would be great. So I actually live a Play Rough a little bit better than I thought I would. I'm at 36 HP, and down goes the Mimikyu with a Thunder Punch, which is fantastic. So now he can't go for Trick Room again, unless he has like Trick Room on Celebi or something. So in comes Xurkitree, and here I'm thinking like, okay, Xurkitree, see, okay, if this wasn't a min-speed Xurkitree, I would outspeed it in Trick Room, not counting Sticky Webs, if that makes sense. But since the webs are up, I definitely don't outspeed it. So I had to switch out because I know I need my Blaziken. I know Blaziken's going to be really, really important late game. So I go to my Kyurem here because I have Earth Power, and I figure he really doesn't have much to take on Earth Power. So he goes for T-Bolt. I do still have Light Screen up here because I did have Light Clay on my Klefki, and I take that so well as the dimension goes back to normal and the Light Screen goes away. So right here, I just click Ice Beam actually because I'm pretty sure that Ice Beam has a good chance to kill. But again, I'm thinking he was running an HP invested one because, you know, Trick Room. It doesn't kill, but Thunderbolt does nothing to me, which isn't really a big deal. So this thing will die to another Ice Beam, which is fantastic. In retrospect, I probably should have just clicked Earth Power, but I thought I would be cheeky and catch a switch. Either way, doesn't really matter. Down goes Xurkitree. We take a little bit more damage than we should have, but it really doesn't matter. And I am Life Orb, not Scarf or anything like that, by the way. So down goes Xurkitree. In comes Celebi. Celebi does take a pretty hefty amount here from the from the Spikes, yeah, and from the Stealth Rock, which is pretty nice. And he's gonna take a little bit more damage here. As you can see here, he's probably at like what, 75%. I go for Ice Beam here. Unfortunately, I get a crit. Now, analysts, before you roast me and say that I only play for hacks, it was a min roll to get 72%, and he was at roughly 75. So eat your heart out, analysts. So down goes the Celebi, assuming it was max Spadef, max HP with a plus Spadef nature, which it most likely was. And in comes Gallspot here. So Gallspot takes a ton of damage. Like, look how much damage it takes from Stealth Rocks and Spikes. Gets the minus speed, which doesn't really matter too much because he does have 2 priority moves, assuming he has First Impressions and Aqua Jet, of course. And he goes down to like nearly half health. So I just tried it. I don't even know what I went for here, but he goes first impression here, and I think that kills me. That does kill me. So down goes my Kyurem, which is a bit unfortunate. In comes my Blaziken here. Now, if he has Aqua Jet here, that's pretty bad. I'm at 36 HP. I go for a Thunder Punch. He doesn't have Aqua Jet, which is great. So Gallespod is going to get knocked down into the red, which will activate the emergency exit, which means he will be forced to switch out, and in comes Incineroar. So I count this, and Incineroar has to go for Fake Out to outspeed me, otherwise it dies through Brick Break, and the only way it can kill me is if it gets a max roll on a Fake Out. So I'm thinking, okay, my opportunity to win here is looking pretty decent because Gallespod can come in and just die from Stealth Rocks. So he goes for Fake Out, unfortunately gets a critical hit, which, I mean, in retrospect, the crit kind of did matter in the sense that if he got a high roll, he would have killed me, but at the same time, no matter how you look at it, I had a chance to lose, so it's not really as bad of a crit, if that makes sense. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and going back, I guess, for the crit, the reason why I don't think it really matters as much, because if there was a situation where I went for Ice Beam on the Celebi and got a min roll and it lived and went for Trick Room, because he told me after the battle he had Trick Room, I would have lost more than 1-0 or more than 2-0, however much I lost by. So either way, thank you guys so much for watching. GG to Steve. His link will be in the description. Unfortunately, he fell to 0-2, but at the very least, I can say these aren't horrible losses. Like, we're not just getting blown out. We're not just getting absolutely destroyed. We are fighting. I think this is a Game of the Week potential battle. So thank you guys so much for watching again. Keep rooting for your Klinks. Next week, we'll try to bounce back. I will see you guys next time. And bye-bye.